to the Notary News Channel. This is a forum for all things notary and some things not. Please be sure to like and subscribe so that you can receive notification when the latest videos are posted. This week on the forum, we're going to be talking about the 944 and 941 reports for corporations and LLCs. My name is Desiree Roman Rodriguez, and I'm a subject matter expert in all things notary in the state of Illinois. I'm also an enrolled agent credentialed by the Internal Revenue Service to prepare taxes, troubleshoot tax issues, incorporate businesses, and represent taxpayers all the way up through the U.S. Tax Court. This particular issue that I'm bringing up is for businesses that especially are new, who aren't really aware of all of the things that you need to do once you incorporate your business. Now, making the transition from a sole proprietor to either a corporation or an LLC, there's a lot of other things that go along with doing that other than just being now a legal entity. And one of the biggest things that people aren't aware that they're supposed to do is file your reports to the IRS. And if you are living in a state that collects taxes or that has unemployment, you have to file those reports as well. Now, if you are filing yearly, depending on the number of employees you have, the amount of payroll that you are paying each year or in each quarter, you may only need to file a 944, which is an annual report for the IRS. And that would typically be due January 31st of 2022. So if you're new business this year, you don't really have any payroll for most of the year, just maybe the last quarter of the year, then you would be eligible to file the 944, and you would file that by January 31st of next year. Now, if you are recognizing that you have payroll in all of the quarters of this year, and you've already had some for this year, you should have already filed your 941 report that was due in May. So if you haven't filed that report, you're late and you need to get it filed right away. Now, there's more reports for the remainder of the year are going to be for August 1st of 2022. Then there's going to be one due October 31st of 2022. And then the final report for the 2022 year will be January 31st of 2023. So these reports are going to be essentially reporting how much wages you've paid, how much taxes you've withheld from the wages that you've paid, how much Social Security and Medicare taxes you've withheld, and then it will determine how much you as a company will need to pay for that half of the tax. So remember, as a corporation, you now pay 7.5% of all of the taxes, Social Security and Medicare, out of your business, and then 7.5% comes from out of your employees' paychecks. So both of those have to be accounted for, it has to be added up, and then it has to be sent to the IRS. And then if you have a state that collects these taxes as well, you would need to file those reports for the state as well. Now, the state may not have the same schedule as the federal. I know for Illinois, there is no annual filing for these reports. It must be done quarterly. And luckily for the state of Illinois, they are all online, automatic. You can file them on their website. But for the federal, you usually have to have a paying service to file your 941 reports, or you can do like I do, and I just print up the form from their irs.gov website, fill it in, mail it off, and I make sure that whenever I send any communication to the IRS, I always receive a certificate of mailing, or I send with some kind of tracking so that I have proof it was sent by the deadline. Now, if you are not making these 941 reports on time, then you will get penalized for that. So you want to save yourself those penalties and fees by making sure you're filing your reports on time. Now, you will always have to file the 941 either by paper or electronically, but you don't have to mail a payment. You can always go to the IRS's payment website and you can make your payments for your 941s that are due on their payment website. So if you're unsure whether or not your state requires 941 reports, you want to make sure that you go to your state's website and find out under the business section what reports are mandatory for you to file. But for the state of Illinois, these reports are required, and they are required quarterly. And their schedule typically matches the federal schedule. So for this year, 2022, it would have been May. There's going to be one due in August, October, and then for January of 2023. One thing I want to make sure that you are aware of is the IRS can change your filing of a 944 report to a 941. And this can happen based on the amount of wages that you're paying and what it looks like quarterly versus annually. Now, I myself did have this situation with the IRS, and where I initially started as filing 944 reports, and then at some point they sent me a letter changing it to 941. And then I got another subsequent letter changing me back to 944. And I had gotten so many of these letters in a row that I thought, well, maybe they were just confusing things. I'm going to continue to file my 944s. And then I started getting letters after that saying I was getting penalized for not filing my 941 reports. So I had to call the IRS and get that whole thing straightened out. And then I was told they can change you from a 944 to a 941. So when you get communication from the IRS after you have been filing your reports, you have to make sure you pay attention. And if you're confused about the information that they're sending to you, or if you get confused on whether or not you should be filing a 944 or whether or not you should be filing a 941, call them. Don't ignore the letters. Definitely call them, because the IRS can make the change of you filing a 944 to changing a 941, and they can change you back again to a 944. Now, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to post in the comments below, or feel free to send us an email to info@romanendeavors.com. So I hope this is a little bit helpful, lets you know the kind of reports that you need to fill out. I will be posting the dates of when the reports are due in the comments below the video, so you'll be able to have that and be able to make sure that you are filing your reports on time. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.